the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with OSU beat writer Scott Wright. Scott, obviously lots of folks curious to see what the Cowboys roll out in terms of receivers after losing 3 really good ones last year. They feel good about their starting 4. Looks like they've got that set, but none of those guys are big receivers, and we saw Marcell Ateman really be an important part of that offense last year. What about big receivers? Do they feel like they've got some guys that could potentially play that possession receiver role this season?
They absolutely do. The only question is who's it going to be and how are they going to adjust when they actually get into games. Guys that haven't played at this level yet. Patrick Oklahoman, former Douglas High School quarterback, went to NEO for a year. They plucked him out of there, redshirted last season, as he's still really learning this position. He never really played wide receiver in high school, but he is a basketball player and kind of uses some of those skills on the football field in those jump ball situations. 6'6" guy, long arms, really athletic. He's a guy that they feel can do a lot of good things in that type of role. LC Greenwood, another one, 6'3", 212 pounds, and really fast and strong and can do a lot of different things, but hasn't been on the field yet. Redshirted as a freshman last year. Now he's got to try to get into the rhythm, find out where he's going to fit in. And just like when you talked about guys like Tyron Johnson or Tylan Wallace last year, they've got 2 good receivers ahead of them. Tylan Wallace and Tyron Johnson. Now those guys are your starters on the outside, but there is going to be a role for some big guys to be a playmaker in certain situations in this offense. We saw LC Greenwood make a really tough catch on a fade in the spring game. That's the type of role that you could maybe see some of these guys sneaking into the offense and being a red zone target or a third down target, things like that.
You know, I wrote about Patrick Oklahoman late last week, and you know, Oklahoma State has had obviously some really good receivers, and they've not always been the biggest guys. I mean, whether you're talking about Justin Blackman being 6'1", James Washington being even shorter at 6 foot, they've had guys that have played big roles and not been tall. But do you get the sense like what they got out of Marcell Ateman last year sort of refocused their thought process on maybe having some guys that are a little bit bigger?
It absolutely did, because of the things that he could do going up and getting some jump balls. You think about Texas Tech, the big catch that he made on a third down play last year when he just went up and out-jumped and out-muscled the defensive back who was right in front of him, had great position. He goes up and makes that catch, gets them a first down, continues that drive, and they put the game away. Plays like that, plays like the same thing. He did the same thing at Iowa State on a big touchdown catch there as they were making their rally. So there are a lot of things that big receivers can provide this offense and be a little bit of a security blanket for Taylor Cornelius, knowing that he doesn't have to be as pinpoint as he might need to be with a smaller guy in a certain situation. That said, they love what Tylan Wallace, who is only 6 feet and 185 pounds, has done in sort of learning how James Washington played and used his body to get in position to make catches. So they've got some different options, and they're really excited about this group in all. And we'll just see where those big guys start to fit in.
Lastly, as it relates to LC Greenwood and Patrick Oklahoman, Scott, I mean, you don't want to get into a situation where if those guys go in the game, everybody's like, oh, they're throwing to that guy. You don't want to sort of be the specialty guy that everybody's aware of once you step on the field. So what do those guys need to do? Is it merely just get some game experience to really let the coaches know that they belong in there more? Or are there certain things for both of those guys that you feel like the coaches want to see that might insert them in more situations so it's not obvious, hey, they're on the field, the jump ball's going to them?
Well, the thing that I think both of them are really good at that they're going to have a chance to show is actually getting open downfield. They're going to be able to do some different things, use them in some different roles where they can. They've both got the athleticism and the speed to beat some guys in some mismatches, because they're going to be matched up against some guys that physically don't have the size that they do, and they might be able to take advantage of that. Not just in a jump ball situation, but getting open in different areas of the field. So that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to show that they've got multiple tools in that tool belt to go out and get open for Taylor Cornelius to hit them and make plays after the catch.
All right, lots of interesting stuff as the Cowboys get ready for their opener against Missouri State. It's a week from this Thursday, so be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.